Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to Final Fantasy IX. Now, I have done a few things since we last saw each other. Some things that I didn't really want to do while recording because you've seen the sort of things before. They're boring. Well, not necessarily boring, but they're run-of-the-mill. They're not particularly interesting to watch. Yeah, grinding. So, what we did was we went around all the Q's marshes and did our standard frog harvest with Quina, and we also went and punted a bunch of Grand Dragons up on Popper's Heights, up the top of Gizmaluk's Grotto. Purpose, of course, behind that being twofold. One, to increase the number of dragons that we'd killed, which increases the amount of damage done by Freya's Dragon Crest move, which is one of the most powerful moves in the game. And secondly, it also gained us a bunch of experience, so a lot of my characters leveled up, and you can see that my characters' levels are mostly in the 50s. Zidane's up in the 60s. Steiner's lagging a little bit behind at 47, but we're getting there. Now, you do not have to do any of that, and I am not going to continue with the story just yet. I'm going to do some optional extra bits. Again, you do not have to do any of this. But you know, I recommend it, especially if you have any interest in defeating the harder optional bosses in this game. Then there are going to be some things you want to do, and in this playthrough I am planning to do that, so yeah, we've got that to bear in mind. So, with all that said and done, let's jump aboard the Invincible, not to be confused with Royal Navy aircraft carrier. And we're actually going to go on board the Invincible and have a bit of a wander around first, because the layout here is very different from the Hildegard. So, here, this is our central dais thing. It is from here that we can change party members and also set off. If we just talk to Dagger, how strange. What is it, Dagger? I'm riding on the airship that killed both of my mothers and destroyed my birthplace. I'm sorry, you probably don't want to ride this airship. Don't worry about it, Kuja and Garland were the ones who chose to destroy, not the ship, and I want to stop blaming my sorrow on other things. How very mature of you. Then let's have a quick chat to Vivi. There must be mist monsters everywhere, we need to be careful. That's really the game's way of saying, we've upgraded the bad guys on the mist continent. Prepare accordingly. I thought of relinquishing my knighthood many times after Alexandria was destroyed, but there are still things I must protect. Seeing this sky convinced me. So I'm just chatting with everyone as we go. There is actually a specific thing we are aiming to acquire. So we can go over here, we can talk to Freya. I never imagined our reunion in Limblum would bring us this far. I shall see through this battle to the end. Amaranth, I can't believe I'm still travelling around with you. How very Amaranth-like. You can go over here. This is the entrance where you boarded the ship, but you can't actually exit the ship. If we go right over here toward the back, we can talk to Aiko and Quina. The light that came out of here burned Madain Sari. You're not wrong. This light makes me feel like I become pot roast. Yep. But you can't take control of the giant laser. So this is above the eye. This is the centre of the ship. You only have access to the bridge area. That's as far back as you can get. But there's one place we clearly have not been to, and you may have noticed there's a treasure chest over here. Open it up, and you find the Pisces Stelazio coin. Hurrah! We've got another Stelazio. And if we just have a look at the key items. Pisces said to Aquarius, Virgo made her choice. Go see him, and he'll tell you the rest. A rare item received an Invincible, one of many Stelazio in the world. More on that later. But just thought it was worth picking up the Stelazio coin Pisces aboard the ship. And then we'll retake control of the ship and we'll poodle around like the awesome people that we are. Yeah, thank you for the sound effects. Depart! And obviously you can switch your party members there if you want to. So, the first thing we're actually going to do is pay a visit, is basically do some shopping. And I am doing this specifically while recording because there's some specific places you want to go to. They're going to have upgraded their stock. We're going to come back to Trino later on. And you're going to want to take advantage of that. So, first things first, we're actually going to head over to Alexandria. I think Alexandria is one of the places that's upgraded its stock, but it's worth checking. Into Alexandria we go. And we're just going to run through. Yeah. We've done all this jazz. We just want to make our way through to the weapon and synthesis shops. And see if you've got anything shiny on offer. Well, no, I appreciate that the shops themselves got a little bit wrecked, but I think... Did they not? Or can you not access these shops anymore? I know we can rebuild the city if we work together. Maybe you can't access them anymore, actually, now that I think about it. I stocked up the shop as best I could. Right, okay. No, he's just got kit left over from, like, visiting this place on disc 2 or 3 or something. Okay, so this is not particularly interesting. Oh, we don't have any pinwheels. Nah. That's a throwing item for Amaranth. No, I'm not interested in any of that. Okay, well, never mind then. Alright, let's just leave Alexandria then. It's not going to do what I want. Okay, so scratch Alexandria off the list. Right. In which case, let's go to Trino. Oh, whoops-a-daisy. Board the ship. And we're going to head over toward Trino. Just follow the cliff line round, and there we go. There are a bunch of things to do with Trino. So let's get on with them. In we go. Now, these are going to be pretty standard. You've seen this sort of thing before, but there's a few things I wish to highlight. So, off we go. And you can, of course, challenge people to Tetra Master matches. I'll be honest, the card game, whilst I find it fun, it's never a bit of the game I've really focused on that much. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is go over here and we're going to visit the weapon shop and see if they've updated their stock. I want to buy some stuff. Have you got anything interesting for me to buy? Or is this all the same old trash from before? It's the same old trash from before, isn't it? Okay, in which case, right. So, let's just check Zidane is properly kitted out. Okay, so... we're going to go and take on the new beastie. Now, this beastie is no slouch. So, we're going to want HP up 20%, auto regen, auto haste are all good ideas. I'm just going to unequip auto haste for now. We're going to unequip unnecessary abilities. We don't need antibody. We don't need level up. We don't need bandit. Right, we're going to be taking on a behemoth. This is the last bad guy you can take on in the monster cellar here. So, the behemoth is a beastie, so beast killer is your friend. Where's beast killer gone? There we go. We're also going to use MP attack to increase the damage output. Now, this thing has an annoying habit of countering with meteor, which is about as painful as it sounds. Unfortunately, there isn't a huge amount we can do about that. Now, we don't have to use Zidane here. We could use a different character, but, I mean, it's weak to ice. But the thing is, Zidane is currently easily my highest level character, and that will almost certainly be the case for you as well. So, we are going to go with the abilities that we've got at the moment, I think. Right, just to be on the safe side, we're going to go with Auto Life, I think. Just in case things... no, we're not, because if things have gotten that dire, I'm probably dead anyway. So, Auto Haste, Distract. Is it worth going the counter route? Not really without Eye for Iron. I don't think I'm really going to do that. We'll have Accuracy Plus. Screw it, we'll throw counter in. There we go. It's always worth saving a game before you do this, by the way, so I'm going to do that, and then we're going to go and take on this big beastie. Mognet, read mail, cancel. I haven't received mail lately, Kuko. Fair enough. Oh, I know what I wanted to do in Alexandria. Silly me. Well, we'll go and do that in a moment. Let's just sort out Trino while we're here. You can see, by the way, grinding also has brought me up to 310,000 gil, which is quite a lot. Right, let's take this big blighter on. Let's see whose numbers are bigger. The behemoth is one of the higher level monsters you could take on. Are you sure? I can't guarantee your safety. Zidane's going to do it. Now, I could actually have Zidane a bit more pimped out, because I could go and get his ultimate weapon, but I can't be bothered at the moment. I'll do it a bit later. So, yeah, we're just going to do this with... I mean, the Ori Halcon that we've got here is still a pretty strong weapon. A strike, which missed. Zidane goes stab for 7,500. This guy's going to take about 4 hits to take down or something. Reasonable amount of damage from the heave there, but Zidane's going to heal that back up. Counter attack! There's another 7k. Regular attack! There's another... Oh, that's almost 9k. He hasn't countered anything with Meteor yet. Strike! Missed. There we go. 4th attack and you're dead. Cool. Well, that was quick. Go Zidane! You're a badass. Wow, I can't believe it. Here's your prize. Received a circlet. Hurrah! Right, let's just switch back to other abilities. So let's get rid of Distract, MP Attack, Accuracy Plus, Beast Killer, whatever else it's going to need. I'll worry about that. We want really level up. Okay. So, done that. We've got a circlet now, actually. Let's just check who can equip the circlet. Now, the circlet is, I believe it's a piece of headgear. Yes. That can be worn by... In fact, actually... Pretty sure I've got some circlets already, but never mind. Can generally be worn by ladies. I'm not sure if Vivi can wear it. I'll check. He can. Okay, cool. Fair enough. Anyway, so we've beaten the last monster. They're jolly good. Next, we have a Stelazio coin to deliver, so we're going to go and do that. Except this is the auction house. Let's do the auction house now then. We're specifically looking out for a magical fingertip, but anything else that's also interesting we will pick up. Today's items are... We'll find out. We don't need any of the... Magical fingertip, that's what we want. And the acclaimed thief gloves, we've already got the thief gloves. So, these first ones... I might edit this section out because all we can do is actually wait here, it's annoying. The rat tail and all that jazz, if you remember we actually bought these from the auction house a little while ago. We bought them and then sold them to residents around Trino. The whole point of doing that, as well as possibly making a profit, was that in what used to be disc 4 of the game starts... Well, disc 3 ends with the destruction of Terra. So disc 4 is everything from that point onwards. So we're on what would have been disc 4 now. With the... once you've done that and you've sold, so it's the Rat's Tail, Doga's Artifact, Griffin's Heart and Oon's Mirror. Once you've bought all those at the auction house and then sold them to people around Trino, on disc 4 the magical fingertip will be auctioned. If you take the magical fingertip to a certain gentleman in Daguerro, who I did point out, he will give you Excalibur, which is Steiner's... third most powerful sword, so we would quite like that. I just heard 19,000. You can see these things do get quite expensive, but you know, whatever. Sorry? I do have money for days. Yeah, I say I have money for days, but some of this stuff can get really expensive. But I'm pretty sure I should be okay. Yes, just sell it already. I want the magical fingertip. Unfortunately, it's slightly clunky. There's no way of really skipping past this, apart from re-entering, hoping the magical fingertip becomes the first item on the list of things being sold, and it may not even turn up at all, so, yeah. Let's just wait for Doga's Artifact to be sold, and then outbid anyone who dares take the magical fingertip off us. Off of us. I'll get my words out in a minute. I'm going to stop singing, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, he lets you stand there like a lemon. He might be thinking, oh, I'm not sure about this, but feel like he can't say anything because that would be rude. And just lets the creepy 16-year-old just stand there, staring, ready to flash his cash. Dead-eyed, seeing into his soul. Like Steiner. Oh, come on. I just heard 8,900 gil. Yes, just sell it already. 8,900 gil anymore. Don't you dare bid. Thank you. Right. Our next item is a rare item, Magical Fingertip, starting at 8,900 gil. The price will shoot up really quickly. There we go, we're up to 16.6, 17.4, 21.9. It's adorable that these people think they have a chance of buying it. Excuse me, I am willing to buy your house and your entire family, if necessary. 33,900 gil. Given that I, earlier on in the game, stole someone's savings that was like 37 gil or something. That was their lifetime savings. 42,000 gil. 43,000, 44... I just heard 44,200 gil. 44.5. I'm really tempted to put in a bit of 100,000 gil and see if it shuts them the hell up. But no, I'll do this sensibly. 46. Silently waiting and then just sneaking a bid in at the last minute. Like this. 46,100 gil. Oh, you swine. I just heard 47.8. 47.8 anymore. 47.9. Sold! 47,900 gil. Received Magical Fingertip. Our next item is the acclaimed don't care. Right, I'm going to try this again, see if there's anything else that's interesting from the auction house at the moment. Today's items are rat tail, fairy earrings, Medane's ring, thief gloves. Today's items are rat tail, Doga's artifact, Loon's mirror. Are you just doing the whole quartet? Thief, sod off. Okay, no, never mind. Right. So, let's have a look in our key items. Magical Fingertip. No one knows who this Go-Go guy is. He just disappeared. Does he really exist or what? Lady Bandit Ruby. Now, Go-Go is actually a recurring smith in the Final Fantasy franchise. And he is often associated with crafting the blade Excalibur, which is often an optional part of the games. So this is a recurring theme in Final Fantasy games. It shouldn't come as a massive surprise. Run all the way through here. Right, I'm just going to pay a visit to the synthesist first. Then we'll go and visit Queen Stelazio. Welcome! Right, you got anything interesting? No, this looks like old stock. Medane's ring, I could get one if I wanted, but I don't really care. Pearl Rouge! Yeah! I'm not going to do it for now, and the rest is all junk. Okay, that's fine. So let's visit Queen Stelazio. Up here, through these doors. Oh, you have the Pisces. Give it to me in return for a reward. Oh, you're almost kind. Quack, you may take the order for my servant. Robe of Lords. Something is missing. So I have now delivered all 12 Stelazio coins. According to my information, there are 12 Stelazio. Then why do I feel that I am missing one? So you can either say it's just your imagination, or because there is one more and she'll just believe you. Yes, there must be a 13th Stelazio somewhere. My queen, if I may, the writings on the Stelazio must be the key to solving the mystery. Well, fine, I'll give you all my Stelazio and you bring me the 13th. Receive 12 Stelazio. Right, so basically what you have to do with the Stelazio now, and you see you have them all in your inventory again. They do indeed tell a story, so let's have a look. The story of 12 zodiacs, and the 11 zodiacs pondered how best to catch Virgo's heart. Aries headed east. Taurus had an idea. He would give Virgo a gift. Through the forest and over the mountain he found a star. Gemini thought by the river, I will sing her a song. He didn't know where she was, but he hoped his song would reach her. Leo was waiting for the sun to set into the ocean. Then Cancer showed up and they began to fight. Into the ocean they fell. Cancer headed to the cape where Virgo waited. The sun was setting into the ocean. Would he finally see her? Watching the sunset from the cape, Virgo whispered, my only wish is to be with you now. Libra was a perverse fellow. He would always walk in the opposite direction of the sun. Would he ever see Virgo? Sagittarius dashed through the night, defying the chilly northern wind that was stinging his right cheek. Scorpio was very timid. No, I'm just reading them in the order they appear here. That's because I'm just scrolling through. It doesn't really matter that much. The story is not piece by piece necessarily, in that sense. It just tells the story of the individual. I'll get to it in a sec. Scorpio was very timid. He always looked at his shadow until one day he decided to look away. He walked up a hill. Impatient Capricorn ran up a hill toward the sun and fell asleep from exhaustion. Aquarius arrived late. He asked everyone, who kissed Virgo? Pisces said to Aquarius, Virgo made her choice. Go see him and he'll tell you the rest. Right, so. Okay, so there are some you can immediately rule out. Basically, what you have to do in order to get the 13th Stellazio is one of these 11, Stellazio, excluding Virgo, is the one who Virgo is actually in love with, and the idea is that you go to the location where you found the relevant coin. So this is actually a bit of a bugger, because you have to remember, if you didn't have a guide or something, or you hadn't done this a million times, you would have to remember where each of the Stellazio were. Which can be really awkward, because the descriptions they give you are not colossally helpful. But there are some you can immediately rule out as, they clearly weren't the one. I mean, Aquarius arrived late, he asked everyone who kissed Virgo, well, if he doesn't know, it clearly wasn't him. Little things like that. Now, helpfully, if you can't remember the locations, if you bring up the help menu, it at least tells you roughly where the coin was found. It doesn't tell you the exact location, but it can give you a rough idea. So we've got Aries. How best to catch Aries headed east? It's not Aries. His story there has nothing about actually finding Virgo. Gemini, Gemini thought by the river, I will sing her a song. He didn't know where she was, but he hoped his song would reach her. Okay, that could be it, I guess. Taurus had an idea he would give Virgo a gift. Through the forest and over the mountain, he found a star. Again, it is not really very conclusive. Cancer, headed to the cape where Virgo waited. The sun was setting into the ocean. Would he finally see her? So he's going to where Virgo is. He clearly knows where Virgo is. Okay, cool. That's potential. Leo. Leo was waiting for the sun to set into the ocean. Then Cancer showed up and they began to fight. Into the ocean they fell. So it can't be either Leo or Cancer, because they fight and fall into the ocean. They never actually find Virgo. So you can cancel those two out. That one was from Alexandria. Virgo, of course. This is the one that they're all trying to find, watching the sunset from the cape, blah, blah, blah. So that doesn't really give you a hint as to who it's going to be. Libra. Libra was a perverse fellow. He would always walk in the opposite direction of the sun. Would he ever see Virgo? Spoiler alert, it's not Libra. Scorpio. Scorpio was very timid. He always looked at his shadow until one day he decided to look away. He walked up a hill. Again, that's not very descriptive, but I keep pressing the wrong button. Leo was waiting for the sun and set into the ocean, then Cancer showed up and they began to fight. So these two, they talked about Virgo being on a cape. So if you look at Scorpio, he was very timid. He always looked at his shadow until one day he decided to look away. He walked up a hill. At least he's not ruled out, put it that way. Sagittarius dashed through the night, defying the chilly northern wind that was stinging his right cheek. It's not really very helpful in terms of a description. Aquarius arrived late. It's not Aquarius. Capricorn. Impatient Capricorn ran up a hill toward the sun and fell asleep from exhaustion. If he fell asleep, he didn't find her. It's not Capricorn. Pisces. Pisces said to Aquarius, a Virgo made her choice. Go see him and he'll tell you the rest. That implies it wasn't Pisces. Otherwise, Pisces would not be the one saying she's made her choice. You need to talk to the person in question. So that narrows it down a little bit. The person who it actually is, I'm running a little bit on memory here, is one of the more sort of, not one of the combative ones, one of the ones who tries something a little bit quirky. So you're left basically with Gemini. I will sing her a song. He didn't know where she was, but he hoped his song would reach her. If he didn't know where she was, it implies he doesn't actually reach her and find her, so you can kind of sort of rule Gemini out. He tried to give Virgo a gift, but it doesn't actually say anything about him finding Virgo to give her the gift. The perverse fellow. Scorpio was very timid. He always looked at his shadow until one day he decided to look away. He walked up a hill. Now, if memory serves, and I'm going on memory a little bit here, it is actually him. So, just to test my theory, this is where I'm going to be wrong and my memory's failing me or something. We're just going to go and see if we can go to the location where we found that particular Stelazio coin. So if we have a look at the items, it was it Scorpio? Yeah. So, a rare item received in Quan's dwelling, one of many Stelazio in the world. So Quan's dwelling, that's not too far from Trino, which is where this whole kerfuffle started. Okay, so we're going to go to Quan's dwelling and see what happens. We've basically done everything else that Trino has to offer, to be honest. We've got the magical fingertip, we've fought the monster in the basement. Oh, and received a robe of lords for our troubles, actually. Robe of lords! Reflect, null and concentrate. Aiko, you can wear that for a bit. So the Robe of Lords is the best, quote-unquote, robe in the game. One with the best stats. And we've got our first copy there from getting the 12th Stelazio. So we're just going to go over here a little bit, and we're going to wander into Quan's dwelling. We can't land the airship right... Stupid route. We can't land the airship right next to the place. You can also see, by the way, up here, we're clear of the mist, and so we don't have to worry about mist up here, but it looks all murky down below. Ooh, it's a friendly battle. Who is it we've walked into? Hey, it's the Ragtime Mouse. Okay. So, yeah. I've seen him once, but I don't think I was recording at the time. So this is the Ragtime Mouse, by the way, for anyone who's unaware. Question number 2. The 15th Limblum War started in 1600. Now, I actually can't remember off the top of my head what year the 15th Limblum War started in. This is one of those things you can find little snippets of information scattered throughout the game in order to answer these questions. Some of them are pretty obvious. Some of them less so. I'm actually going to cheat. Okay. I'm actually going to cheat this slightly. I have a list of the answers written down, because I've got a funny feeling the Limblum War is actually 1605 rather than 1600, but I could be wrong. Now, he answers these questions, by the way. The order in which he asks them is randomized, except for the last question for fairly obvious reasons. Yes, the 15th Limblum War started in 1600 is false. I was pretty sure it was. Yeah, I thought that was the case. So, this will be false then. VV, attack false! Heal! Hurry! There we go. Correct! Now you could, if you wanted, keep exiting and re-entering forests to try and get... you got 100% correct. To try and defeat the Ragtime Mouse, but all you get rewarded with is gil. It's really not much point, and it would be one hell of a grind. So I really cannot be bothered with that. Quan's dwelling, I think this is the right one. But let's find out. If I've got it wrong and it's not, then at the very least I'll be able to fully heal myself down here. So, you know, I'll take that. Down the road. Whee! Oh, come on, Zidane. You can. It's not a ladder, it's a rope. I know. HP and MP restored. Now, we found the coin just over here. There's something under where the Scorpio used to be. Received Ophiuchus. Did did the Scorpio and the Virgo just sparkle in my hands? Right. Ophiuchus. Their future was uncertain, but Scorpio and Virgo kissed in the light of dusk. That moment meant everything, by Ophiuchus. So Ophiuchus is the name of the author who penned the story. So I'm being reliably informed that Ophiuchus is actually a 13th zodiac sign, but we don't use the 13th for some reason. Just because 13's unlucky. Oh. And he's a snake dude and no one likes snakes. Oh, fair enough. Fair dues. It'd have been between December and January. Okay, so because people are superstitious, we don't use that zodiac sign, but it's a perfectly legitimate zodiac sign. But in this context, he is the author of the story. Can't be bothered to waste MP on these suckers. There we go, they're dead. From the back row, who cares? Right. So, now that we've got the 13th Stelazio, we can go back to Queen in Trino and trade all 13 in for another reward. Yay! Rewards! Hurrah! Punch the spider in the face with his big ass sword. Go Steiner. You don't like the look of the spider? It's only level 2. Yeah, it does look a little... It has a slightly Shelob vibe to it. Shelob would rather keep her face than have the face of that one, fair enough. Right. Okay, so... Not even a mother could love it. Fair enough. I'm not here to judge. Right, okay, let's go this way, it's quicker. So, we need to find the Queen! We must save my family. How you doing, Barry? Right, over here, deliver the coin, and then we will complete this little side quest. We have received 12 Stelazio from you. Oh, you found the last Stelazio, Ophiuchus. Give it to me along with the rest of the Stelazio I loaned you. You're no longer given a choice. She just goes, right, mine. And you have to wait for this animation to finish. And yes, it does it 13 times. Oh yeah, you've got the symbols on the back of each coin. Yeah. It's alright, we'll wait, dear. It does speed the animation up a little bit, but it's still... You'd think it could have done it all in one go. But hey, what do I know? You may take the reward from my servant. Received hammer. Achievement, what's your sign if you're playing the Steam version? I am satisfied. I have satisfied the Queen. We have received 13 Stelazio from you. The bit that confuses me about this is that she thinks there are 12 Stelazio. She has a cage for each Stelazio, yet she has more than 12 cages. Ah, what do I know? Don't say she keeps her servants there, that's creepy. Right, if we have a look at the hammer... Oh no, this is just a regular item. We'll get there eventually. Right, hammer. This is a weapon, but it's not one that any of your characters can wield. This is Sinner's hammer. You know, the minor character. It's C-I-N-N-A, yeah. Pass. Okay. It serves two purposes, but you can only pick one. You can either use it as an ingredient to synthesize the tin armor, which is Steiner's best armor in the game. It is the best armor in the game, but it's Steiner's best armor. It's a bit of a play on the fact that Steiner wears rusty tinny armour, so his best armour is rusty tinny armour. I just went the wrong way, whoops. However, if you don't use it to synthesize that armour and you keep it in your inventory, then at the end of the game there's a very short little bonus bit added on to the end sequence. So I'm not going to synthesize the tin armour, I'm going to keep the hammer on me for posterity. And there we go, that's the Stelazio stuff finished. There's 2 other places I want to visit in this video. We are doing the rounds of the shops. Like I said, we're going to go to the Black Mage Village, because that, I know, has updated its stock. Feel free to enlighten me on the Sinner thing. Okay. Oh! Learn something new every day. So, I've just had Loki say to me that apparently... Okay. Apparently in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, which is one of the Shakespearean plays I have not read or seen or anything, I'm afraid, so I don't know the story. Oh, fair enough. Oh, the reason you know is that you played Cinna, fair enough. So there are 2 characters called Cinna in Julius Caesar, one of whom is a political figure, and one of whom is just a regular citizen who happens to share a name. And apparently the unlucky schmuck who happens to share a name ends up getting killed, mistakenly, thinking that he's the political figure. Thus the duality of Cinna, you can only use it for one thing, I guess. Choose your poison. It's worth pointing out, by the way, that you can get 2 sets of grand armour in this game, which is the second best armour. So those 2 sets, one for Steiner, one for Freya. It's not quite as good as the tin armour, but it's still pretty damn good. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's just change my Venetia shield for apparently not. Carbini mail? No. Running shoes! Let's change that out for something. Promised ring for restore HP? No, because we're already getting that. If you have 2 items equipped with the same ability, by the way, each one receives the ability point, so you do level up that ability faster. But there are more add-ons that Steiner can... No, apparently there are not. Fair enough. Alright.